This is Tony Hendrick with Painting Spirit. Today I'm going to talk about Through Me. So you'll see that I've got somewhat of a painting already started, and the reason for that is I've run out of my canvases or panels that I've had prepped and was busy yesterday, so I didn't have time to prep. So I'm grabbing a panel of a painting that I started. I cut it down to size. This is something I've done a lot in the past. I haven't done it recently so much. It's just a different way of painting now, but it's kind of nice to have an underpainting like this that's dry, that you can play around with translucency. So today I'm just going to play around and maybe talk a little bit about my subject and see where it goes. It's actually another one of those subjects that I'm picking because it kind of came to me, but I'm not quite sure I know exactly how to talk about it, except that maybe something will come through me and it'll reveal itself. So I'll just get going. So what sparked this is Marianne and I started watching a show on, I think it's called Apple TV. I'm not sure what it was, if I had gotten maybe a new phone or something. So I got a free subscription to Apple TV for a year, so every now and then we've gotten on it and looked at something, and we were delighted to discover this show called Home, and we're only on episode 2 of it, and we're just so impressed with it. I'm not sure exactly what the whole premise is, but I think it has to do with unique architecture around the world and ways of looking at space and living. And episode 2 was about an artist in Chicago and what he's done with his neighborhood, his community in Chicago, south side of Chicago, I think. It was just really cool, so check it out. I'm not going to go into much detail about it. You just have to check it out for yourself. It's called Home. The artist from episode 2, his name is Theaster Gates, and what was so cool about it to me, and what made me think of this topic of Through Me, I don't know if it came up in the episode, but it just really appeared to me like, let's get something happening with this. I'm just talking, and I'm allowing myself to kind of go slowly with this painting. So I've already got stuff on it. I don't feel like I gotta fill the space, so I'm gonna play around with some of this translucency and just sort of see what happens. I've talked about the gooiness of paint using mediums yesterday. Maybe I'll explore that a little bit today. So got these light colors underneath. I just put on some medium there and went with some dark purple. I've already got some wet paint on there, which it's picking up. Let's see what happens with this. So back to Theaster Gates. So the episode was about the different buildings he's taken, or I think he's purchased and reimagined in his neighborhood, and created galleries and places for musicians to play music and community to hang out, and very practical minded things. And one of the things that he did, I think there was some area of Chicago that they had to remove some trees, and I'm guessing they were ash trees that probably had died, but there was just a whole bunch of them, maybe more than just ash trees. It's just guessing because I live on a farm and have a lot of ash trees that were burning for firewood because they've died. Anyway, so he was offered all this wood from these trees to create a sculpture, create some artwork. And what he decided to do is create a wood mill so that other artists in the community had a place that they could create from. And when I saw that, I just was really blown away. I just thought, wow. I kind of imagined myself in that position. What if I had done something like that? And or what if I looked at this as an opportunity for me to do something great with my artwork? And it was just such a cool thing. Turned it into a wood mill for the community. So it got me thinking about the difference between through me and from me. And there's a part of me that hesitates to use the example of somebody like this Theaster Gates, who's done just incredible things, it looks like to me, with his work, his art, his life. And the problem with using an example like that is it's really unique and personal to him, who he is. And I don't know if that was something that came through him or it was coming from him or what. Only he's going to know that. I think it's about an experience within. What I'm talking about when I say something about through me, something that I think is felt. It's an experience. There's a flow to that. And I'm sure we've all heard the stories of artists talking about where they came up with some inspiration for something, or talking about their artwork and feeling like it's being created through them. So what is that exactly? And I've talked about it with this, kind of getting lost here because I'm really trying to focus on little subtle details here and talk at the same time. Now I'm getting a little more conceptual than I planned on with the topic. Gets me into my head, and maybe that's what I'm actually getting at right there, is something that has to do with the through me part of it, something coming through me. I like to talk about it from the perspective of having no mind and being in my, feeling for things as opposed to thinking about them. But again, that's something unique to possibly not just me, but it is part of my personality. And there might be somebody, actually, this Theaster Gaze seemed like he's quite the thinker. I mean, visionary, I guess. Well-spoken. Different than myself in the way that I communicate. So something coming through me, that energy coming through me is not going to look anything like it looks for Theaster Gates. But that experience of having creativity come through me as opposed to it coming from something I want to get for myself, I think that's an experience we've all had. And for me personally, I just love that experience. I love that feeling. And it's not anything you can really predict or know how it's going to come, because it's something that's coming through you, through me. It's one of the things I enjoy about doing these little painting spirit videos, because I'm putting myself in that place of really, it's when I'm doing these, it's I think for myself, it's tapping into that flow, because I'm doing it live and just going with what's happening. I can't really predict it, what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do. Just sharing in the experience. I think sharing is a big part of it. There's some cool things happening here that probably wouldn't have happened otherwise if I just started fresh with a canvas, white canvas. I slowed down a little bit today. It's fun to change things up a little bit, which happened, I think. Not sure where I went necessarily with the topic. Maybe when I listen back, it'll make more sense than what it feels like right now. I guess that's another aspect of this thing of having something come through you, through me. let's see here. Let me finish this off. Feel like bringing in just a little bit of something else here. A little bit of yellow. All right. I think I'm done playing for today. Get out your own brushes, see what comes through you, and we'll see you tomorrow.